Formula One and Jeffrey Epstein, one of the worst criminals just behind a North Korean dude and anyone who works for Ferrari. Now you might say these two things have zero correlation, but I'm here to tell you otherwise. Because Epstein is known for trafficking women and children onto his private island, then inviting his rich friends to it. And what sport has a lot of rich, powerful people in it? Formula One! Allow me to list down a few F1 names. Lawrence Stroll, Lance Stroll's daddy and the chairman of Aston Martin. Flavio Briatore, Alpine's team principal and failed lab experiment. Bernie Eccelstone, F1's former CEO and human vegetable. Jacques Villeneuve, 1997's F1 world champion turned commentator with constant bad takes. Eddie Irvine, former Ferrari driver, Pedro Diniz, another former driver, and Alejandro Agag, founder of Formula E. Now, of all these powerful motorsport figures, how many of them do you guys think have connections to Big J himself? Maybe you'll say one. If you've watched my videos, maybe you'll say three. But that's not even close. It's all 7 of them. Every one of these people are listed in Jeffrey Epstein's black book. Now, this isn't the flight logs, so maybe Lawrence Stroll just took his son to go ziplining. So it's innocent until proven guilty. Except in the recently leaked 3 million Epstein files released by the DOJ, Lawrence apparently attended Epstein's home with models as serving girls in 2003. Once again, maybe he wanted a big lunch, but it could also be a Chris Hansen lunch.
You say, I can't go to jail. My life would be ruined.
Also, you know this is serious when even Toto mentions it.
Maybe tomorrow we're inventing something else. That I don't know. I've been on the Epstein files. God knows what. You're not happy with me saying that, no? I was too young.
And of course, he says that he's too young to have been on the island. This is why Toto is the GOAT of F1 team principals. And this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the creeps in Formula One. If there was something I have to hate about F1, it would be how it's filled with degenerates. And this should not be surprising at all. A lot of F1 people are old rich dudes that look like my balls after a hot summer day. Anyone would expect the worst. The amount of diddling cases are endless, and I'll be covering every single one of them in this video because I hate when bad people get away with bad things that I, a literal F1 shitposting channel, has to be the one calling people out. And I know you might say, Rick, making this video means you'll never get invited to any motorsport award shows or let alone win one. Well, fuck it, we ball. Back to F1 and Epstein. So apparently all these 7 names I mentioned were listed in Epstein's address book, complete with their home addresses, business addresses, phone numbers, and according to articles, they're said to have either interacted with Epstein, traveled on his plane, or visited his private island. And boy, it gets worse, alright, because there's actually more people on this list. With the 2026 release of 3 million Epstein files by the DOJ, the F1 community managed to find Lance Stroll's mother, Claire Ann Stroll, emailing Epstein's wife, Ghislaine Maxwell, saying, "Dear Ghislaine, unfortunately, we weren't able to discover your pirate treasure of Little Saint Jeff." That's the island's nickname. Chloe was very disappointed. Chloe is Lance's sister. She was 6 at the time, and Lance was 4. 1,000 thanks for the magnificent photo of Lawrence and Chloe. First off, what kind of pirate treasure are you talking about, Miss Stroll? And in the third email, it's terrible. Ghislaine says, "I was sad that you could not make it to the island, but fortunately, there is still a lot of treasure to unearth, so your services and those of your daughter are still needed." What fucking services could you possibly want from a 6-year-old? I mean, I know that Chloe Stroll has a music career, but even if it was just music, this was probably the service Ghislaine asked for.
We gotta definitely write a song about how we do not diddle kids. Do not diddle kids, it's no good diddling kids.
There is no quicker way for people to think that you are diddling kids than by writing a song about it.
Honestly, I might have been a little too harsh on you, Lance. You and your sister might just be the only decent people in the family. Obviously, this is alleged. Please don't kill me. And another concerning name on that list is Flavio Briatore. This guy is a walking hazard and everyone knows that. He had everything to do with Crashgate in 2008, forcing a crash to help Fernando win, just for him to win again in Japan 2 weeks later. And this is where it gets worse. In 2004, Flavio cheated on his girlfriend Heidi Klum with a 19-year-old German model while he was in his 50s. And then in 2019, at the rotten age of 69, this electrocuted human being was seen dating a law student that was 49 years younger than him. And honestly, girl, you go get that bag. I won't judge, but I just have one question. Why would you want to touch that thing? Flavio looks like a failed science experiment. But despite his connections to Epstein, track record of controversies, and dating girls decades younger, he's still in Formula 1 as Alpine's boss. Thank God Oscar didn't end up there, or else he'd just be another victim.
And we gonna go full, buck full crazy.
Like this guy once said,
The future of the jack, I control you every millimeter.
Flavio, why are you controlling anyone by millimeters? Are the kids that short? But apart from Flavio, Christian Horny is another popular F1 creep. His female coworker harassment case was hard to miss, like his leaked pic. But as much as I've talked about Horner's WhatsApp scandal multiple times, it honestly doesn't get old. So I dived into the leaked Google Drive again, where I found these screenshots, and oh, it's bad. The conversation starts normal, but Mr. Horny says, still in the Spanx? These are what Spanx are, by the way. And the convo goes, yep, what did you like about them so much? You look very attractive in them. You must know that. They are just leggings, but it's what's in them that counts. Hey Siri, how old is Christian Horner again?
Christian Horner was born on November 16, 1973. That means that he is in his 50s.
Wow, grown-ass man forgets he has a family with 2 children, a literal Spice Girl as a wife, and he still isn't satisfied. This man might actually be beyond saving.
What's that? What is that?
Bro, that's the only way, bro.
But the worst part of this scandal was that Horner didn't receive any punishment and was only kicked out of Red Bull under performance issues. And as much as he's away from F1 as of this video, he might return. And to guess where? Alpine! Nuke the whole team at this point. But screw Horner, let's move to a man he'll never be, Ayrton Senna. A legend of the sport, one of the greatest to ever do it. He shaped Formula 1 into what it is today, and he dated a 15-year-old girl named Adrian Yamin while he was 25. So this is real. The age of consent in Brazil is 14, and Yamin still talks about Senna with very high praise, and that's the least we can hope for. But let's not normalize that. Now, I know I can't enforce rules to another country, but if you don't find that slightly fucking weird, just say that the only reason you're mad about Epstein's Island is because you were not invited. But while Senna is a best case scenario, there's still people like Nikita Mazepin, who's basically Lawrence Stroll if he drove worse and doesn't know what consent means. And even if I've discussed his case before, Mazepin is a dead horse I will continue to enjoy beating. In an Instagram story before Mazepin entered F1, he was seen inappropriately touching a friend, then getting flipped off. And thanks to daddy's money, he still ends up in Formula 1 just to play Demolition Derby. And the justification was the girl posting on her story saying that it was actually fine and her and Nikita are apparently friends, while also unfollowing each other, then liking a post calling him a monster. Friends my fucking ass. Like, Nikita Mazepin's family really wants us to believe that their son is a really good person. I mean, you might as well say Jeffrey Epstein's the GOAT. And according to multiple Reddit threads, apparently Mazepin asked someone to send nude photos to get a free paddock pass. And of course, it's yet again another WhatsApp scandal. The messages say, come on, can't see anything. I presume the ass is nice but covered. We just started talking, some things have to be earned. Alright, we can stop here. If you come to any race, text me. Otherwise, nothing to earn. But moving on to another interesting F1 creep case that has to do with Lewis Hamilton.
Who was the man in the white jacket you were covering in champagne?
He did it.
Get in there, Lewis. For all the kids out there, you can do it too, man. I'm with you guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support.
Lewis Hamilton was apparently buddies with the baby oil diddler himself, meeting once in a fragrance event in 2007, again in the 2010 Monaco Grand Prix, another meetup in an after-party hosted by Rihanna, thankfully with no baby oil in sight, and again in the 2018 Met Gala, where Lewis made a tweet calling the diddler a brother, then deleting it 6 years later. Now, I heavily doubt a man of Lewis's class has been to any of the diddling parties. I think his worst crime is dating Kim Kardashian, so at the end of the day, it's the same thing I said earlier.
Until innocent is proven guilty, what did the man really do? He bought a lot of baby oil.
Right. Sometimes you just want to slide around the crib. Right.
But even if you thought all of this was bad, there's more. And it always comes back to the same place where the worst people in Formula 1 come from, the FIA. And to start, MBS, mild bowel syndrome, the FIA president. MBS is that weird kid in school that follows everyone around and tries to be a part of everything when clearly nobody fucking likes the guy, and if you're one of those people nice to him, he'll do the weirdest shit to you. Case 1, Lewis Hamilton. He ignores MBS like he avoids his divorced husband, Nico Rosberg. Result, MBS avoids him too. Case 2, Oscar Piastri and Max Verstappen. They're nice to MBS, but the moment he gets too close, they tell him to fuck off. A smart balance. But then we have Case 3, Lando Norris. Lando is basically nice to everyone. He would be friends with that creepy kid in school and would be the only one spared. But as a result, MBS thinks of him like a child and starts rubbing his hair like he's trying to get an electric charge. Like, leave the guy alone. Don't take the spotlight from Lando, who actually put in the work of driving an F1 car to the win. You couldn't even drive an F1 car in a straight line. And another case is Johnny Herbert, a former F1 driver, F1 reporter, and FIA steward who a female reporter live on TV and was still able to have a motorsport career for over 15 years. And lastly, Max Mosley, a former FIA president. God, why is it always these guys? He passed away in 2021, and allegedly he took part in a World War II German-themed orgy and had a 45-year history of sadomasochism, which is a sexual practice characterized by both sadism and masochism. God, pick a fucking side. And he apparently has a spanking video on the internet that he paid someone £12,000 to record. Who the fuck are the FIA hiring? You're telling me the best they could do is a Timu Saddam Hussein, Herbert the pervert, and a horny Austrian painter. You know that one Epstein email asking for a video? I'm thinking that could have been Max Mosley.
Like, if we're trying to find a offender, tell us where the guy lives.
So with most of these people still holding positions in F1 or might even return, you'd think F1 Twitter will finally pay attention, but instead, they're canceling Oliver Bearman for his Discord messages. Apparently, Bearman's Discord server was leaked where he can be seen glazing Max and Charles. Honestly, goat behavior. And speaking about goats, he recognizes the true F1 goat Latifi himself, finally someone that knows ball. Then he proceeds to say that Max would destroy Lando in the same team, and then he responds to a message about Lewis Hamilton's Fortnite skin saying, "When can I buy him?" And Twitter was fuming after that. But if you're asking me for my personal opinion, I think it's not that crazy, and the F1 community should really reconsider their target, because while a man like Flavio Briatore exists, they're targeting a guy old enough to be his victim. And there's guys like Zach Brown and McLaren who have sued their IndyCar driver Alex Palou for $12 million and was all snug with Epstein Island's alleged most frequent visitor himself. You guys are after the wrong people. But anyway, as of this video, F1 has just started the 2026 era, aka Battery Management Simulator, and of course it began with a Ferrari shutting off during testing, so they already have a DNF before the first race. I think they're taking the quote, "Once you hit rock bottom, the only way is up," and it might just work. While Adrian Newey can be seen extremely fed up with Lance Stroll. This is the face of a man who knows someone is holding the team back. But while delusions are building up in every fan base, and how a lot of you guys want me to talk about the recent happenings in Formula 1, I'd much rather talk about the fact that this sport is still being run by weirdos. So going back to the financier himself to end this video, the F1 community's reaction to the F1 Epstein connection was unique. It was nice to see vocal people, but most of them just started vouching for an Epstein Island Grand Prix. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I personally say it wouldn't go well. I don't know, maybe because of the overabundance of files, but I know most of you wouldn't believe me unless I prove it. So screw it, I present to you the Epstein Island Grand Prix. Roll it! Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen, to the Epstein Grand Prix, located in Little St. James. We are here for 57 laps of racing, with each lap spanning redacted miles, and redacted, we are up for an amazing redacted show. The island was planned for the rich and powerful to diddle children, but has now turned into a brilliant young racetrack. Weather conditions seem to be raining baby oil, making making it a challenge to overtake, but don't worry, it will still be more entertaining than Monaco. And as for the starting grid, we have Stephen Hawking in P1 alongside Donald Trump, while Bill Clinton starts P3 with Prince Andrew in 4th. And looking at a strong P5 is P. Diddy alongside R. Kelly, with MBS and Johnny Herbert running 7th and 8th. Then we have Lawrence Stroll and his wife side by side, and behind them Christian Horner and Nikita Mazepin. Moving behind, it's Bill Cosby and Flavio Briatore, and going down we have Ayrton Senna at a very young 15th place with Max Mosley's grave in 16th. And finally we have Kimi Antonelli, and wait, it looks like he's gone. And so is Bearman. Oh no, I think the island's guests mistook the rookies as kids, and they seem to have been taken away from this race. Now see why this would be terrible? I get how all this could kind of be funny, but on a serious note, it's kind of up to have a lot of these people still in positions of power in Formula 1. So to end off this video, I just say we expose these alleged freaks, and if there were to be a little St. James Grand Prix, we give George Russell a bulletproof car to send it straight into turn 1, hitting everyone in the starting grid.